What's your contingency plan?
Contingency plan?
Your backup plan. You gotta have some kind of backup plan, right?
No, we don't have a backup plan. This is it.
And this is the best that you could, that the government, the U.S. government can come up with? I mean, you're NASA, for crying out loud. You put a man on the moon. You're geniuses. You're the guys that think his shit up. I'm sure you got a team of men sitting around somewhere right now just thinking shit up and somebody backing them up. You telling me you have a backup plan? That these 8 Boy Scouts right here, that is the world's hope? That's what you're telling me?
It's good to see you. I must go. I know I will go.
Hold him. Now you listen to me, you hillbilly punk who thinks the world's still round. I'm here to tell you it's not. It's flat!
He's an interesting guy, man, and, you know, he believes it, so. Kyrie, the earth is flat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, whatever.
That's news.
That's news. Here we go.
Wherever you are, make it Truth Frequency Radio.
Broadcasting straight to you from a large spaceship, currently winning the war with the mainstream scientific community. Meanwhile, the Peanut Gallery is preparing his collection of records, albums that is, including classics like Leonard Nimoy's Ballad of Bilbo Baggins and William Shatner's Rocket Man, for the Japanese government, in hopes they will use them for the audio player in the new space elevator about to start preliminary testing. I bet it's as successful as those records. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Strange World, where the truth is often stranger than fiction. I'm your host, Mark Sargent, the creator of Flat Earth Clues, which propose that all of us are living inside a Truman Show enclosed structure thousands of miles wide. Check it out at enclosedworld.com or just Google Flat Earth Clues. If you can't find it, you're just not very good at the internet. For those of you listening to this on YouTube and you want to hear the show live as it happens, please go to Truth Frequency Radio for the latest schedule. Currently, the show is on Tuesday nights at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. And yes, Caroline, if it's not September 4th, 2018, then you are listening to a rerun. Quote of the day goes a little something like this. The test we must set for ourselves is not to march alone, but to march in such a way that others will wish to join us. That's from Hubert Humphrey. A little surprise there. The Mark Sargent 2018 Flat Earth Challenge is in effect right now. This is my personal declaration of war from Flat Earth against mainstream science. I, Mark Sargent, hereby put forth the challenge to any university, foreign or domestic, to loan me a NASA-approved self-contained spacesuit. Put me in a vacuum chamber and pull the switch. Tell me how I don't die. For more information on this, please check out Flat Earth Clues 13, The Lost Nail. Let's see, announcements. Who's got the announcements? First off, don't forget to sign up if you haven't already to the Flat Earth Conference that is coming up in November in Denver. It'll be November, Denver to remember. All sorts of rhyming things happening there. And you can check it out at fe2018.com. Sign up. You can do live stream. You can come as yourself. There's going to be so many fun things. Everyone's going to be there. Do not miss it. Phone number that I'm going to give out tonight for the show is the same as it was before. It's 213-233-3998. That's 213-233-3998. The old number still works too, which is 720-897-6111. That just reroutes actually to 213. If you're in the UK, don't forget your country code and then dial 44-203-393-2871. And if you're calling in just to listen and you don't want me to pick you up, you know who you are. That number is 605-472-9131. The theme of tonight's show is how NASA is just creating more and more garbage recently. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please look up, because I'm going to read an article, but it's not going to be directly about NASA. But please look up the article about how there was a small hole in the International Space Station, and they temporarily plugged it by putting their finger in it, like the old story, the kid putting his thumb or finger in the dike to keep the water from coming in. They just put their oh wait, Peanut Gallery's telling me something. What's he saying? And if you're calling in, we will not be saying your state so we don't offend anyone. Oh yeah, and then the Russians came in and said that it was sabotage, that we actually drilled a hole in the side of our own spacecraft deliberately so we could go home early. Nah, all that stuff was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, boy putting a finger in the dike. Yeah, unbelievable. Okay, so the article I want to read real quick. I don't read a lot of articles, but this one it just kind of stuck out. It's fairly recent. By that, I mean it's not even a day old, and it came out of Australia, of all things. I would have thought this would have been an American thing, but if it happened in Australia, you bet it's going to happen here. And the title is, you can look this up, Conspiracy Theory Fan Wins $20,000 Workplace Discrimination Payout. A child protection worker spouted wild theories at work. Now her employer will have to cough up a massive payout. And the article's not very long, but I got to read it for you. A child protection caseworker who was ordered to take sick leave after telling colleagues she believed in conspiracy theories, including that the Earth was flat and aliens are fallen angels, has been awarded a $20,000 payout. The New South Wales Civil and Administrative Tribunal upheld a complaint against the Department of Family and Community Services, which was found to have discriminated against Jennifer Stefanak on the ground of assumed mental illness. So they said, you got to take sick leave because you're crazy. She goes, I'm not crazy, but I do believe in flat Earth. You know what? They sided with her. NCAT ordered the department to pay Ms. Stefanak for pain and suffering. The incident occurred, go figure, in June of 2016. So she's been in court for a little while. After two coworkers raised concerns with Ms. Stefanak's manager over conversations in which she talked animatedly about various conspiracy theories. Have you heard about the meteorite that is going to hit the Earth in November? It's a big conspiracy. It will hit the Earth, and all the world leaders know about it, she allegedly said to a colleague on tea break. The other employee gave evidence that Ms. Stefanak made a number of statements about various conspiracy theories she was into. I believe the Pope of the Catholic Church is a Jesuit, she allegedly said. Pope Francis is, in fact, a Jesuit. There is a planet, something 44, that is coming close to Earth and will cause a polar shift. There is a large hadron collider in Scandinavia, and it was switched on the other day, resulting in shutting down the atmosphere. There's a government conspiracy to hide this information from us. Some people question whether the Earth is flat. Twice they mentioned this article. I believe some stories about aliens being fallen angels. These fallen angels were kicked out of heaven, and some are buried in the Earth's core. Some are walking around on Earth and are here to make us confused. Fallen angels came to Earth and bred with humans and created giants, and some of these are between 12 and 30 feet tall, and there's proof of this. This happened after a flood. The co-worker said she was very concerned by the comments, which gave her the strong impression that Miss Stefanak was somewhat disturbed and led her to question whether she'd be working with vulnerable children and families. On June 2nd, Ms. Stefanak's manager, Megan Beckett, sent her an email saying she had been informed of recent conversations you have had with other staff within the CSC, and based on these conversations, I have concern about your well-being. To ensure the agency's duty of care to yourself, other employees, and clients is upheld, I am directing you on sick leave, effective immediately. Ms. Stefanak was told she could not return to work until cleared by a doctor. In a letter later that month, her GP, I think that's general practitioner, said she was fit to resume her usual duties. She stated all the topics she was discussing were related to her leisure time reading and topics of interest she found on the internet, he wrote. She denied any strong beliefs attached to the topics of discussion. Ms. Stefanak denied making some of the statements, including about the Earth being flat, saying she was into conspiracy theories or that there was a planet coming close to Earth that would cause a polar shift. She agreed she referred to biblical stuff. She provided NCAT with a copy of extracts from a website about the book of Genesis, chapter 6, and from a website about CERN that operates a particle physics laboratory in Geneva. She denied that she said that the Hadron Collider was in Scandinavia. Not that anyone would have known that. NCAT Deputy President Nancy Hennessy and General Member Dr. Jane Goodman Delaney, whatever, said they were satisfied that Ms. Stefanak had the conversations as reported by her coworkers. The only qualification to this finding is that she did not say that the Hadron Collider was in Scandinavia. They said, we accept that she said it was in Switzerland or France. The panel said that while it was not strictly necessary for us to decide whether Ms. Stefanak did in fact have a mental illness, it had chosen to make that finding because it affects the application of the differential treatment test. Based on the assessment of Ms. Stefanak conducted by Dr. Wow, I can't even begin to pronounce that last name. Samar. Let's call him Samar. Which we did not understand the department to be challenging. We find that a discussion of conspiracy theories was not symptomatic of any mental illness. The department argued that any employee who had the same conversation about conspiracy theories would have received the same treatment regardless of any concern about their mental health. The article finalizes with this. NCAT said that with respect that reasoning is not logical, as inevitably Miss Beckett would have assumed that another employee who had animated conversations about conspiracy theories would also have had a mental illness. We are satisfied that one of the true or genuine bases or the real reason for making the direction was that, based on the conspiracy theory conversations, Miss Beckett thought Miss Stefanak had a mental illness. The department submitted, without a great deal of conviction, that direction cannot be regarded as subjecting Miss Stefanak to a detriment because she did not suffer any financial loss and the treatment was trivial. In our view, a reasonable person would consider that directing a person to leave work on sick leave and not return until a medical clearance had been given constitutes a substantial disadvantage. There is no need to prove financial loss. In this case, at a minimum, it resulted in an injury to Miss Stefanak's feelings. And there you go. You can read it for yourself. So the short version of that is she talked about conspiracies at work. They thought they could get her tossed. They threw her out temporarily on a medical leave, which would have eventually resulted in a termination, I guarantee it. And she fought him on it, and she won. And the court said, look, just because she talks about conspiracies doesn't mean she's crazy. So how's that? Put that in your Australian pipe and smoke it. There you go. So let's go to the phones, and we can talk whatever you want, but by all means, we're also going to be talking about NASA, to be sure. So we're going to go to 214 area code 214. You are on with Strange World right now. You're the first call.
Well, and I am not calling from Dallas, Texas. So let's just be clear on that.
Okay.
And this is Providence, because the reason I called in is I wanted to I was going to start out with how open-minded, people in this community is, the Flat Earth community. Mm-hmm. And you started out with a legal document, mm-hmm. basically a court finding. And that's how, basically getting into the whole flat earth movement. I got into the truth movement because I got in it from the legal side. Okay. So one day I got a ticket for jogging down the street one day on a dead end road, and I went to go fight it. I thought it was totally wrong. Excuse me. And so I went to fight it, and because I got the law book and I couldn't find it, well, neither could the city attorney, and got it summarily dismissed. So then I started looking into more stuff about the law and heard about the right to travel, started looking into all that. It was all over the internet, and started reading more and more into the law. And then I got a couple of mentors I found, and they were in the area, and they started teaching me more about the law. And then Rule of All Radio is one of the stations that I call into a lot. I'm really good friends with Randy Kelton, and he comes on like Thursday and Friday nights on the channel. Well, he's been studying law for 20 years. He's a Vietnam vet, and when he came back, he got a ticket one day, and he thought it was totally wrong, looked into it. Well, they come to find out what they were doing was against the law. And just to give everybody an example, because the thing about the flat earth people, they're really open-minded. That's great, because so many people are closed-minded, they can't see the great obfuscation that's going on. And just to give everybody a brief example, the speed signs on the side of the road, everybody knows, okay, they see that 55-mile-an-hour sign, and you must be speeding if you're going 70. Well, what is the law? Because nobody seems to know it, so I looked it up. And in Texas, it's 201.904. I can just pretty much quote it verbatim. It's, the Texas Department of Transportation shall erect and maintain signs on the side of the road for the sole purpose of regulating commercial motor vehicles, truck tractors, truck semi-tractors, truck tractor trailers for the purpose of hauling goods or services or people, a.k.a. buses. So, Mr. Officer, could you please tell me the year, make, model, and the color of the bus that I was driving for me to be violating that stick on the side of the road with them numbers painted on it? Well, come to find out, you're not in commercial motor vehicle. So just going to the store in your car to get a loaf of bread or in your pickup truck, you're not violating that law. But everybody's been conditioned for a long time. Well, I did more. So I started doing 552 information requests. So I did it to the Texas Department of Transportation, asking for their authority for all officers with the authority to enforce the Texas Transportation Code per 701.001 and 644.101 per Chapter 4 of the Texas Administrative Code. Well, I got a letter back from them, and with all 250 officers in the whole state. Come to find out, most of the cities around Dallas here, none of these cops are authorized according to the Texas Department of Transportation. But we're all brainwashed to believe that they all are. And there's 250 cops in the whole state of Texas. I mean, come on. There's
Yeah,
that's
not a lot.
Crazy.
Right. Conditioning is a powerful thing. Yeah.
Well, and that's the same thing. I mean, you look at how they started out conditioning everybody with the ball theory 500 years ago. They've been working everybody over for a long time mentally. Right. And so we're all conditioned to believe without questioning. So what I did is I filed criminal complaints against the county because the county judge is operating in his vicarious liability, allowing the district attorney not to train the cops in their Brady responsibilities. This is another thing. It's just more research. And I got copies of this. I filed it even filed a copy with the Texas Rangers. I said, y'all read this stuff. This is your laws. I just read it. I didn't write it. And so it's crazy right now. I'm just imagining what's going on in their minds. But this is something I wanted to bring to light to the flat earth people. That's like, look, you want to drive the narrative, start learning how to drive the narrative, but you have to be educated. And this is the first people that will have the most open mind to go, wow, we have been lied to. And every state's the same. Their codes just changed, a different number, but the whole thing's the same.
Yeah.
So, but with that legal thing that you brought in, now conspiracy theory is not a crime, you know, so, hey, you know, time to start questioning everything.
Agreed. Like it. Anything?
So, if I'll tell you, go ahead. Yeah, no, I'll tell you what, I'll just send you a copy, and I'm going to let you read it, and because you'll get a kick out of it. But it was a lot of good information, and I just thought everybody needed to know. So we can everybody just needs to wake up to all this and take this. I think it is a satanic government that's running this whole daggum thing. So we need to call them out for who they are and start figuring it out and hold everybody accountable. So that's all I got, my man.
All right, man. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for all that. That's awesome.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Bye.
All right. See ya. All right. Phone number to call in. We still got 7 minutes until the next break. Phone number is 213-233-3998. And Australia just dropped off, which means I don't have anyone to pick up at the moment. So phone number 213-233-3998. That's 213-233-3998. And if you are a longtime listener, first-time caller, there is nothing to be nervous about. Just no state or country. Really, no state or country? What has country got to do with it? I'm sorry, Peanut Gallery is harassing me. Why can't I say country? Of course I can say country. State is one thing because, you know, the phone numbers are mixed up all over the place. But how many times do I get a chance to call out another country? I'm waiting for him to actually respond on this. Makes other countries feel bad. What? Seriously, you're killing me here. All right. While we're waiting for another call to come in, a couple other quick announcements. If you haven't noticed, the documentary Behind the Curve, which you can check out the trailer for, behindthecurvefilm.com, has gotten into several more film festivals. The next one, well, it's going to be in LA in September. I know that this month, the LA Film Festival, which is cool because that's not a documentary film festival. So congrats to the team for doing that. They also got into Calgary. They got into one of the Sydney festivals, Sydney, Australia, and Melbourne, Australia. They got in, and then I was just told before the show, I was just asked that apparently it's going to be going into a small festival right here in Washington, north, up where my old stomping grounds, up in Bellingham, Washington, where I went to school long time ago. And they asked me to come up and speak at that one. So to do a Q&A, to go up with the director. And this will be the first time the director and I will actually be answering questions together. That ought to be interesting, considering he's not a flat earther and I am. I'm sure I will feel like a... what's the word I'm looking for here? I kind of feel like a test subject, and he'll be a doctor. If anyone would be wearing the lab coat in this scenario, it would be him. Kind of like a chimp with electrodes out of my head. I don't know. Feels that way. But anyway, it's going to be next month. So if you are in Washington, you want to have some fun, you want to actually see the documentary before it comes out, you can go up to Bellingham. And I know it's a little bit of a drive because it's right on the border of Canada, right just south of Vancouver. But it should be fun. And I'm going to be going up there. So I think it's the third week. I'll give you more details as we get closer. We're at least 5 weeks out at this point. So let's see here. Peanut Gallery says we are doing the no state in support of the lame movie that won't use the flag. Oh, is that why we're doing that? Oh, okay. You're right. I completely forgot about that as well. There's another little headline. On top of the ISS fixing a hole in the side of their fuselage with somebody's finger. I don't even know if it had a glove attached to it, which begs the question. You guys, not that much time has elapsed. So you remember that the woman, there was an airline recently at 30,000 feet. It threw apart and punched a hole in the side window, and she was immediately sucked, well, almost out, and she died. You know, she was pulled out of the window by the pressure change. Remember, low pressure, high pressure. That's what we're talking about here at 30,000 feet. And she died. And there were people helping her. And yet at orbit on the ISS with way greater pressure difference, you can just plug that hole with your finger. Yeah, I'm not buying it. No way. The other thing was that Peanut Gallery wanted me to mention, and I can't believe how much stuff has happened in the last week, was that Neil Armstrong's movie, the movie about Neil Armstrong, the fictionalized movie called First Man, starring Ryan Gosling, who's Canadian, and it was directed by a Canadian. I don't know if that factored in or if they were going for the world market, but what they did was they deliberately omitted planting the American flag on the moon. And when the director and actor and producers were asked about this, the director especially said, "Oh, well, it's a human achievement, not an American achievement." And like, what are you talking about? And I'm going to throw this quote out there because a good friend of mine said she liked the quote, and that is, look, if anyone deserves the credit for faking the moon mission, it should be the Americans, and the Americans only. It's not a world fakery. It's not a world conspiracy at that point. It's an American conspiracy. And removing that flag, yeah, you can imagine like Fox News and your right wingers really jumped all over it. Why shouldn't they? Look, it was an all-American group that was up there planting the flag. That's what all the pictures were about. National Geographic. And yeah, not good. All right. While we are waiting for people to call in, hint, 213-233-3998 or 720-897-6111. But the main one is 213-233-3998. Let's do the subject matter list real quick for the people that have done testimonials on this show. This, for any first-timers out there listening. So we have United States Navy missile instructor, an Air Force navigator, a Marine Corps sniper instructor, a Navy submarine chief, an Army artillery radar operator, an Australian intelligence officer, an American flight instructor, an industrial engineer specializing in valves and seals, a career surveyor of 32 years, an international shipping expert, corporate travel agent, an air traffic controller, United States Army master gunner, an aviation and ground training combat expert, a USDA surveyor of 27 years, a 32nd degree Mason, an etheric science researcher, a commercial airline captain, a commercial airline co-pilot, an industrial vacuum expert, a merchant marine, a United States Army air traffic controller, a U.S. Navy navigator, a U.S. Navy electronic warfare technician, and an AutoCAD technician. They all said the same thing. The world is not what you think it is. It is not a ball. It is not spinning. It is a flat, enclosed, pressurized system. And just like that, a whole bunch of calls came on. We're going to pick up Australia first, and then we're going to pick up 623 after that, and 980 after that. So, Australia, are you there?
Yeah, it's Dean in Australia.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, it's just a quick one, really, Mark. Just briefly, just where I come from. Obviously, I'm from the UK. I'm from Manchester in the UK.
Uh-huh.
Been over in Australia for 10 years. Yeah, I've always doubted the old moon missions and things like that. 9/11 came along and I started looking at different things, and basically, all that was BS, to be honest with you.
Good.
And I stumbled across the old flat Earth on YouTube, and I looked into it, and
oh crap! Hey, crap! Sorry, I hate to do this to you, but we're going to break. Can you stay? Can you stay through the break?
Yeah.
Okay, stay. I'll be right back.
Real people, real radio. Wherever you are, make it TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
Welcome back to Strange World, Part 2 of 4. We are talking with a fine, upstanding citizen in Australia. Are you still there?
Yes, Mark, how are you?
Good. Good. Sorry to cut you off. I did not keep track of the time on that one. It doesn't happen to me very often, but I didn't want to cut you off too rudely.
That's all right.
So anyway, keep going.
I'll send you the form bill. It's fine.
Thanks.
Yeah, Mark. So I did actually email you last Thursday. I emailed you twice.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was a link to a planned flight from Perth to South America. I can't actually remember exactly whereabouts in South America it was, but it's what they're saying is that the distance and the time of the travel, it flies direct across the ocean. And I think it was a 9-hour flight.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm just wondering if you could look into that for me. I've actually looked for this flight. It's still not going ahead. But like I say, in the article, it's in the West Australian paper.
Sure.
I think it's planned for late this year or early next year.
Sure.
How would that sort of...
The thing
with your theory about...
here's the thing.
Or your evidence, I should say.
No, you're good. You're good. So what I initially did when I did Clue 7, when I was talking about the long haul, when I was talking about the flights in the Southern Hemisphere, how they're all screwed up, and most of them have ridiculous connections that go north, and they don't make any sense unless they're on a flat Earth map. And then people were quoting me. People have said, no. There are a handful, a very, very small number of flights that are direct from capital cities. And that's when I started, which is why I ended up making Clue 9, which was the magic show, which talked about how, and those routes may exist. They may actually exist. But there's two factors that are involved here. One, of course, is that the biggest is latitude and longitude, which are completely removed from the tracking system. So when the plane, any plane, goes over water, when it's more than 150, 200 miles from any particular landmass that doesn't have a tracking radar on it, the latitude and longitude just disappear. They go into approximated or estimated modes, which means the route cannot be proven. People say, oh, yeah, the flight exists. And I go, well, it may exist, but nobody can prove the route. Because there's the GPS system, which should be bulletproof. It's the United States, 32 satellites, blanket coverage overlapping. That should be there, and it doesn't. The other thing, which I thought was interesting, and you can look this up yourself. I didn't put it in the clue, but multiple people pointed it out, which was it's one of those little loopholes, which is if you go on a nonstop flight and you land on any island and nobody gets on or off and to refuel, it's still considered a nonstop flight. And there has been
right, okay.
And I was really, really surprised at that. And because, in the event of social media, people on most of those flights, people are drinking quite a bit anyway. And they're going, what's this about? We're stopping at a freaking island to refuel. I thought this was a nonstop. Well, technically, the airlines can claim it's a nonstop if it's a real quick, if it's like, okay, we get down, we spend 15 minutes refueling, and then we take off. Technically, it's still considered a nonstop. So between the two, I'm not worried at all. The latitude and longitude thing was why I did Clue 9, and I still stand by it, which is there's no reason why, with all the massive satellite technology that supposedly exists, that we shouldn't have complete, total blanket coverage when it comes to airlines. Look real quick, not to go off on a tangent, because I know you're calling long distance. The Malaysian flights that went down in the Indian Ocean. Those were flagship planes. One of them was a 777, and they had no idea where that thing dropped. No idea at all. I was like, what are you talking about? That thing should have state-of-the-art GPS on it. You should know exactly where it was. And to this day, rumors. It's like, oh, yeah, we think we found this. We think we found that. You didn't find anything because you didn't know. Anyway, sorry. But I will look into it. I swear. I'm backlogged on emails, but I swear I will get into it.
Okay, can I just another quick one?
Yeah.
So the flat Earth movement, is it still gathering momentum, would you say?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's way bigger than I even thought it would be. Why?
Okay, no, it's just that, I look at people who whether they can't accept it or they don't want to accept it, there is a lot of people out there, Mark, who are have a good lifestyle, and you know, they have the family, they have the 2 cars, and
sure,
the house, and a rental property. And do they really want to accept that when they're sitting quite pretty? You know?
Yeah, I hear you. At the same time, though, 90% of our members, and I know this because I have met a whole bunch of them recently in the last calendar year. 90% of our members are still flat Earth in the closet. They know about flat Earth, but they're not talking about it with anyone because they're too nervous about what their friends or family or coworkers will say. I use the Spice Girls as a perfect reference for that, which is, the Spice Girls sold 80 million copies, right? 80 million copies. You find me 2 of your friends that owned any of those albums. You won't be able to find them because they listen to them.
I don't have one, I promise.
Well, even if you did, you probably wouldn't tell me, because they was just bought. It was bought very quietly, and people just listened to them in their privacy of their own home. You'd swear it was an adult film or something. Anyway, anything else?
Yeah. No, thank you for your time.
All right, you have a good rest of your night, okay, or day, wherever you are.
Okay, you too.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, let's jump over to 623, and I'm not going to be saying states anymore because the Peanut Gallery doesn't want me to. Let's go to 623 area code. 623, you are on with Strange World right now.
Hey, Mark, it's Caroline from Surprise, Arizona. I will say my state. I'm not ashamed.
Okay. Caroline, do I know you? Have we met? The voice sounds familiar.
I might have had a dream about you, but that might be as far as it's ever gone. I don't know.
I gotcha. Peanut
it was a good dream.
Well, I have no doubt. Peanut Gallery says she is slamming other states. She is a phone bully.
I am. I will bully. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Right.
But hey, I was going to tell you about. We had a pretty decent weekend over in LA with the LA team in Hollywood with Dan the Waterman and his flat smacking on the streets, Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
And
Did you guys go?
It was. I've never done anything like that before.
You haven't flat slapped?
No, I have not. I've learned to keep my mouth shut because I hear there's a rule to Flat Club, and trying to obey it.
It is a little bit of a rule, more of a guideline than a rule, really. But so you did your first street activism. What'd you think?
It was fantastic. A lot of people are open. I couldn't believe how many people were open to listen, and that was encouraging because until you get out there and actually talk to the masses, you have no idea how many people are actually flat curious. So,
right.
It was great. And I handed out a bunch of your cards, the cards that I made with your website, and I had a bunch of DITRH ones with you and him on it. But once my cards were gone, I felt handicapped. So next time I'm going to bring about 800 cards because you really need to hand something to people,
Wow. Well, awesome. That is really, really cool. And I think part of the openness that's out there with people is kind of like what I ran into with interviews, in that people are put back on their heels. Flat Earth is such a weird concept. It's so new to them that they don't know what to do with it. It's different from bringing other conspiracies up to them. Flat Earth, it absolutely, it's like, whoa, Flat Earth. As long as you don't look like a complete nut job. Oh wait, didn't you guys? Didn't several of the people down there, weren't they wearing lab coats too?
Dan wears a lab coat. I think he was the only one, but we actually had a guest we didn't expect in an orange NASA suit. So that was fun. He was hanging out with us. Nice.
Where'd he get the NASA suit?
I have no idea. It kind of looks like a prison jumpsuit that he put NASA on it. But yeah, it was pretty cool. And
well, NASA does
people
wear that.
Came up and
that prison orange. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
It was good. And then we went up to the Griffith Observatory and did some flat smacking there. People up there were less open. I will say that. People on the street were more open.
You got to remember, Griffith is a science observatory. The people that are up there are neo-maxi Zune dweebies. You know, they are nerdtastic. So you don't expect much from them.
Yeah.
I mean, going to a physics department at a university would have been a notch up from that. But yeah, the observatory, there aren't a lot of party people at the observatory.
No.
Yeah, thin on the ground.
There were not, and one of our guys actually got punched in the face. So that was a new take on flat smacking and getting smacked back. We won't necessarily get into the story of that, but it wasn't exactly because of flat Earth. It was because of something a little outside the line. A misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding.
Yeah. It was still kind of dramatic and strange, but kind of ended the evening quick for us. But anyway, overall, it was fun hanging out with everybody, and we're going back. I am going back this weekend too, and you were invited, but probably too late for you. Suzette Ann wanted you and Patricia to come out.
Aw, it's a wonderful idea. You got to give us a little more lead time than that, though. Sorry.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But did you hear? Did you hear the thing that I'm going to be going to one of the film festivals? The one up here in Washington.
I did.
Oh, go figure. I am
good. I'm sure they have a better.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh no! I was about to say that it's going to be a little interesting because Daniel and I haven't really shared the microphone time together, and so it's going to be weird. Just the two of us, but who knows? I'll be able to roll with it. It should be fine. I should probably have a drink or two before I do. I think.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
Well, there you have it.
So. Cool. All right. Well, I know that there's backup of calls. I will get off, but I just wanted to say hey and tell you how it went.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for taking part in the activism, and say hi to everybody. And hopefully there's some good videos on it out there on what happened out in California, and proud of everyone doing the great work.
Cool.
Oh, wait.
Thanks for doing your job.
Hang on. Before I go, Peanut Gallery wants he has a quote just for you. You ready?
Aw, that's so nice. Yes.
If women didn't exist, all the money in the world would have no meaning.
Wow. That's very deep.
Yeah, and that's from Aristotle Onassis.
Peanut Gallery.
Jackie Kennedy's second husband, if I'm not mistaken.
A man who knows.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. Well.
All right. Have a good evening, Mark. Nice talking to you.
Bye. Okay, let's jump over to 980 area code. 980, you are on with Strange World. Boy, you better be good.
I'm always good, Mark. You know that.
Hey, I know that voice.
How's it going, Mark?
It's going pretty well. How's it going with you? Do you want me? Should I mention your name?
Sure.
It is Karen B from the channel of the same name, who is going to be a speaker at the Denver to Remember in November conference, the Flat Earth Conference 2018, and I am looking forward to your presentation.
Why, thank you.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Well, really, there isn't any pressure. I mean, you're not starting the day. Are you after lunch or before lunch?
I'm the last one before lunch.
Oh, even better. Even better. People won't be sleeping because they'll be kind of going, okay, are we going to lunch? Yeah, don't run long. Don't run long. Not before lunch. You don't want to do that. People are hungry. Same thing with the coffee break sessions. You don't want to. It's like people are antsy about their caffeine. In fact, lunch you'll have a little more slack, but people they won't be sleeping right after lunch. That's a tough one, because people are going to be, the food starts to kick in. It's like, oh, I shouldn't have had that extra brisket. and then they start sleeping.
Well,
So
anyway, I wanted
what's
to
up?
know
Yeah.
if you heard the latest on the space station leak.
So the original story was that the space station leak was plugged with somebody's finger, followed by our wonderful revelation that, in fact, I think it was first revealed by you, that the hole that was tweeted by Chris Hadfield, directly from Chris Hadfield, the picture that he used in that little tweet was also used as an album cover from a Christian band called Remedy what? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Yeah, whatever.
Remedy, I don't know.
That's okay.
Commodity, whatever.
Yeah. So, but that was 4 years ago, and then you said also that NASA, and the link was perfect. NASA had also used that picture, the same picture, back 10 years ago, back in 2008, when they were talking about some satellite damage or something like that, or shuttle damage, or whatever damage it was. Same picture.
Or it was like the solar max. It was like damage to a solar panel.
Right.
Or something like that.
Right. It was ridiculous. And then the Russians came out and said that we did the whole deliberately so that we could cancel the mission or prematurely. It's like what? And it's like that's the rumor.
Yeah, that's it. That they're saying that it was sabotaged.
Yeah.
The space station leak was sabotaged
By our own guys.
Well, they don't even know who did it. They're just saying it was some mentally unstable astronaut or cosmonaut.
So now it's the whole ISS is turned into a giant space version of the game Clue. Awesome.
Right. So now we have a suicidal astronaut.
Yeah. So it was the blonde guy with the drill in the observatory. It's like, really? That's what we're. Yeah, an unstable. Yeah, because that story's going to get traction over here.
Yeah, so they're saying that that somebody was drilling the hole, and then they said that it looked like the hole was drilled with a wavering hand. And then, and get this. Okay, Alexander Zalesnyakov, I can't say that Russian name. A former space industry engineer told the news agency that drilling the hole in zero gravity would be nearly impossible in that part of the spacecraft.
Why? What would zero gravity have anything to do with it? You just push against it. It's not like you couldn't get leverage.
Well, but think about it though. If you're drilling against something hard, you're pushing against that. How do you push against that? You would have to
Well, you'd have to have I know. You'd have to have your arm braced against something. I mean, you could do it if you wanted to. But the point is it's a dumb story. We share that station with the Russians? Sometimes.
Yeah, we share it with a bunch of people.
So what do they? Is it? Oh God, I hate this story so much already. So the Russians are saying that it's turning into like a sci-fi movie now, where it's like, okay, who's trying to sabotage the station? You're adding drama to something that. What? In fact, Peanut Gallery says we even share it with Japan. Oh, there it is. It was the Japanese, obviously. Whatever. Yeah. Oh, I hate the story. I hate that it's getting. I will say this.
It's getting more ridiculous.
I hope that the band Remedy at least makes some sort of statement, considering it was their album cover. And it just looks like, you know what it looks like? I've stared at this picture a few times. It looks like a tiny, tiny bullet hole when looked at through an electron microscope. It's got that sort of contrast, that electron microscope contrast to it.
Yeah. Well, I think that is what kind of picture it is.
Yeah. That's what it looks like, which means it's really, really small. Not just normal small. I mean, ridiculously small. And it's just, but when you blow it up, anything with an electron microscope, you look at a tick, an electron microscope, and you'd swear that we were being invaded by giant insect things.
Right.
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 Yeah, I didn't know where I was going with that. So anyway, it's a horrible story, and I hope it does. I hope that the traction dies pretty soon, and excuse me. I hope that the American media, at least somebody calls Hadfield out on using that picture, because let's face it, and even if they come back and say, here's the problem with this, even if they come back and say, oh, well, he didn't mean to send that picture, he just grabbed that off the internet. It's like, no. Hadn't we said something? Hadn't the Flat Earth community called him out and said, look, you're using a picture from at least 10 years ago? Hadn't we called him out? The American media would have absolutely run it as gospel. They would have said, "Oh yeah, that's the hole from the space station." In fact,
that's what they started to do.
I know. Nope. That picture's at least. In fact, you probably have your suspicions. How old do you think it is? How far back do you think it goes?
Somebody sent me something that they found that it was from possibly as far back as 1984.
Wow. Yeah, that'd be about right, because we've had electron microscope pictures since what, the 70s? So sure, why not? And it took me a little time. I used to do internet research for a living, and it took me a little time to find that picture, the original NASA snapshot, but there was no date tied to it. So it's like, okay, and it was like available. It was already on multiple sites, distribution sites. But it's like, oh yeah, use this picture, register with our site. It's like, what? Now, where the NASA stamp came from, I have no idea. Because that NASA stamp, thank God, the only saving grace was the NASA stamp had no indicator of date. But either way, it was ridiculous. And the Russian story, but where was that on RT? I didn't even look.
Well, the article that I'm looking at right now is phys.org.
Phys.org. All right. Well, I'll look around for it, and hopefully I'll find something.
The link if you want, but I mean,
I know.
Here's the thing. First of all, they're telling everybody that it was caused by a micrometeor, right? I mean, it just starts so ridiculous to begin with. Then the guy plugs it with his finger and tape.
Right.
And now it's not even caused by a micrometeor. Now it's sabotaged by a mentally unstable astronaut
who wants to die.
Trying to sabotage the Soyuz. Who wants to die. Yes.
Who wants to die and take them all out with him. Because that's how you would do it? I hate to tell you this, guys, but there are 20 different ways you could kill everyone in that place. Yeah, wouldn't need to drill a hole in the side of it. In fact, that's nothing compared to what you could do. I mean, you could sabotage the air filtration system.
All you have to do is open the flappy baloney door.
The flappy baloney door. Mess with the CO2 scrubber. Oh, I don't know. Change the telemetry. We've all watched the sci-fi movies. There's all sorts of ways to crash a spaceship to kill everyone on board. It does not take much. Anyone has any doubts, watch, what was that fun movie with Lawrence Fishburne? Event Horizon. Watch that movie. CNN said, Peanut Gallery, by the way, give her the quote before she hangs up. Fine, I'll give her the quote. We'll take you to the break, and then after break, we'll pick up 512 area code, and then another 2, then 214, then probably 651, then 714 after that. Just so you guys know, they're listening. We got about 90 seconds. The quote for you is, the most useful piece of learning for the uses of life is to unlearn what is untrue. And that was from some Greek guy. And he also says, I'm not going to read that name because I would get tongue-tied if I did that. And the other one, he says, CNN has the actual photo of the hole. Okay. I'd love to see it. But anyway, if anyone wants to look that up.
And what kind of drill bit would this guy be using? I mean, how long of a drill bit do you have to try to get from the inside of the Soyuz to the outside?
Right. It's just I'm sorry, drilling a hole in the side, even if if you're mentally unstable, look, you'd be found out in 2 seconds if that was real, right? And I know, people in submarines, like you can only go down to, like submarine people, they do a psychological profile because you can get a little bit of, claustrophobic fever type thing happening there. I'm sure the same thing goes when you're looking at astronauts, but it doesn't really matter because no one's up there. All right, you got 30 seconds. Give some shout outs before I have a brain aneurysm and I need to drink during the break.
Shout out to Caroline, Zulu 1, Effie Disciple, I Spy NASA Lies, and everybody else.
Right on.
Zulu's chat.
Cool. You should call in more often.
Okay, well, I do what I can.
All right. I'm just saying you should. All right, 5 seconds. Thank you, Karen. It was lovely speaking with you, and I'm sure we will talk many times before the break.
Yes. Ta-ta for now.
Ready.
Into the truth frequency.
Your protection from deception. This is Truth Frequency Radio.
Major Kong. Primary target the ICBM complex at Laputa. Switch all receiver circuits to CRM discriminators. What's cooking on the threat board? Nothing. Alright, tell you what you better do, old buddy. You better give Elmo and Charlie a flash, man. Bump everything up to condition written. Stand by the floor on your base. Major Kong. Hey, what about Major Kong?
Clear and plain and coming through fine.
What about
It's great to be fine.
What about Major
What's
Kong?
happened? You see the string in my legs, Carl.
What about Major
I
Kong?
never told you.
Hey, what about Major Kong?
Welcome back to Strange World Part 3 of 4. We're doing a call-in show. Phone number to call in is 213-233-3998. And we have a full dance card lined up right now. So let's just jump right on it. 512 area code. You're going to be the first, and then 214-651. Anyway, you're up.
Hey, Mark. Just wanted to call and just say really appreciate you and all your work. Definitely been I mean, I can speak for everybody. This has been crazy. Like, this is just insane. Like, I'm just, atheist now. I'm just like, okay, wow, this is just ticking time bomb. And so I actually came upon it while I was part of, this QAnon movement. I don't know if you've heard about it, but
I am aware of QAnon. Yeah.
I am pretty sure Q is a cover for Flat Earth. And it's huge. I can only say that my understanding of evil has gone just up and down, left and right. You're just like,
right.
Hold on a second here. They're all covering up the same truth. And, the missing piece is just, I think, missing piece is just basically the fact that, the central source in all of its form, gods, whatever you want to call it, just, we're literally just surrounded by basically angels who, I'm talking like 95% of the planet are in on this. And there's an extra sensory engagement that you and I and everybody else who only have been born once don't have. And so their inability to read our minds, that's the tech part. And, I think this is just all designed for us to just put it together. I really do think that it's not something where it's like, oh my gosh, you're going to get your arm chopped off if you go out there and just
Right. It certainly does not.
get the word out.
Yeah. It certainly does not feel random by any stretch. I have thought that for a long, long time. I say it and people, they roll my eyes when I say it. Look, everything for a reason. But it's not just that. It seems like there's a grand plan at work here, and we're just along for the ride.
On top of that, what Q is doing is just showing basically the people who are far removed from these institutions for the most part, aside from military, obviously, but it's organizing people to put the things that just don't make sense, and they don't have me first. I mean, you and I, we have never gone to them. I mean, we've just seen it. We similar with all this other information. We're getting all the information from the same place. Everybody's in on it. It's what I've read. What they call it, the necessary division. And it's like, hey,
in on it,
necessarily divided.
In on it, but I don't think everybody is privy to the same information. Layers upon layers upon layers.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there might be.
Oh, yeah,
people,
there's.
Yeah, you got to remember, there's ground troops and everything, and you don't have to tell the ground troops much. You just have to tell them, oh yeah, by the way, just keep doing this. It's like everyone's got.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think. So I don't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
I just. I was just gonna say. I think there's an element of it that is not. That is bound by basically the law of an enlightened existence, if you will. And so what we perceive to be as communism and all these other things, I think it's just a cover for just how small the planet is, how, tight the resources were with an expanding population. And, I'm not saying, hey, everybody's in. I'm just simply saying.
No. I hear you. I hear you.
I believe I think they're covering up the same thing. And I think it's designed so that Q, when the Band-Aid comes up, oh, everybody worships Satan. Oh my gosh. And then it's like, well, hey, guess what? Everybody worships Satan.
Yeah. I hear you.
They're like super Christians. They're just like these people that
pieces of the same puzzle scattered everywhere. That sort of thing. Hey, I hate to do this to you,
absolutely.
But I've got a whole bunch of calls I still gotta grab. Any shout outs you wanna throw to anybody out there?
Man, to everybody that is putting this together, God bless you. Please put it together, get it out there, organize, and this is what it looks like. It's not violent. It's not. The revolution is just your mind. Just becoming. Its own entity of, hey, I got to look at this.
Yep.
It's not that hard.
Awesome.
Anything is possible together. So
cool.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Good rest of your night. Okay.
Yes, sir. Have a good.
All right. We're gonna do 214 real quick. Sorry, I had to cut off that guy. I didn't mean to hit the button that fast. 214. You are on with Strange World right now. What do you got?
Hi, Mark. This is Chris Pontius.
Chris Pontius from Flat Earth Models.
Yeah, I thought I'd call.
.com.
Yeah, the Flat Earth Model guy. I thought I'd just call in and say hi to everybody.
Hey.
I remember the first time I called in your show, I was so nervous, and I'm still nervous when I call in.
But you don't have to be nervous. You should be nervous that I'm wearing your hat and using your microphone on a regular basis.
Yeah, I was really tickled to see everybody. Not everybody, but most everybody loved the hat.
Yeah,
I made that part of what I was thinking of calling a flat smack kit, because we figured out that the little models are a really good way for people first getting into this to kind of be able to wrap their head around it.
Right.
And so having a little battery operated model like the one that I sent to the National Geographic filming, just to carry around and get on the streets. And then Dan had the idea to put the hat together. And so, I know they put lights on tennis shoes and all kinds of other parts of clothing. I don't know if anybody's really done any lighted baseball caps yet, but maybe I'll start a new trend. Who knows?
Sure. That's awesome, man. That's all. I love your stuff. Go ahead.
Well, thank you. I'm really excited about the getting to the conference, because I've some great things have happened in the last month, and I developed some really cool new stuff with the license plate frame.
Mm-hmm.
That's lighted. It's a smaller version. It's only 12 inches than the little lighted marquees that I had at the conference last year.
Nice.
And so I'll be bringing a bunch of those and some coffee tables. And then the really neat thing that I'm really excited about is the flat Earth clock.
Ah.
And I was just actually soldering another one up tonight. And I'll have a bunch of those. I'm just still refining the design, and then I'm going to do a production run, and I'll have them for sale on the site with the plates and the frames. I'm just waiting for some LEDs to get here because I have to order parts from China, and it takes a few weeks
Sure.
to get here. But yes, but what I'm really excited about is the Mobile Flat Earth Museum. I've come up with there's a thing going around on the internet called the Deep Eddy Vodka trailer. I don't know if you've seen it or heard about it.
I have not.
Getting some media attention.
All right.
Look it up. There's images on Google, YouTube, and they took an old Spartan trailer, which is similar to an Airstream, but shaped differently, and they polished out part of it and did a cool paint theme, and then had the whole side fold down with a deck with killer lights and a thing, and then they're taking me around in the country on tour. And I have an old Airstream back here, and I thought it'd be fun to trick one of those out and then do a tour around the country with a little mobile flat Earth museum. So I'm starting off with an old Dodge van that I'm fixing up that's going to have some models in the back, and I'm going to bring it to the Denver show, and I'm sure the media is going to have fun with this one.
The media is going to love you.
And I'm going to put taglines all over it because I've got access to a sign company, so we'll cut out vinyl. I'm going to take suggestions over the next 10 weeks. It's going to be all out for me, working long hours to get a bunch of models ready and get the van ready for the show.
Right.
But when this thing's parked and in a crowded area, all lit up, people are going to notice it. It's really going to. So I'm going to put on there, Google Flat Earth Clues and for your stuff and then other people like, Dan's got, the Waterman's got his new channel set up, Flat Earth Hollywood. And then there's a new guy that's doing really well on the East Coast, Zoom. He's got a pretty nice he's doing some really good work out there. And he could use a small little model to have with his little rig to set up. So, but that's what's in the works coming up. We'll see what happens.
All right. Cool, man. That's awesome. I can't wait. Can't wait. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this, and I love the van idea. I think it's great.
Well, if any other ideas anyone has about taglines, like the water seeks its own level, all the classic ones that I can put all over this thing. So when you get out in rush hour traffic and you're parked, nobody's got anything to look at. There's going to be tons of stuff to read. Mm-hmm. And, it's a roving billboard that you don't have to pay $900 to only rent for a week. And I think if this thing traveling around the country, especially get the Airstream and the van all themed out both together with it pulling the thing, it should be a sight to behold. And one quick other thing, I had an idea to possibly find this fabric to form a big blow-up dome, if I can get it 30, 40 feet, mm-hmm. where you pump it up like a bounce house or like they do the big balloons for the parades and stuff like that.
Right.
So when you go on tour and set up, we could actually make a miniature temporary planetarium that you could go inside.
They have those. Those exist. Those exist. Look them up. In fact, there are educators out there that actually have kids. They're usually only small enough that kids and smaller people can get in. But it's called a inflatable planetarium. Look it up. You can get these things.
Oh, well, I was thinking of something like big, like maybe 30, 40 feet.
Well, no, that's how big they are. They're really big.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Check it out.
Well, and how much? We'll see how much they cost, and if we can squeeze it into the budget, we'll see where maybe do a little crowdfunding or something. But I'm going to try to document the van project and get some live stream or just so people can keep up with the project, and then so I'm looking forward to seeing you and everybody in Denver. It's a big event.
Oh yeah, and we will talk again way before that. Remember, we still got a few months before this happens.
A few months. I think we're down to about 10 weeks now. I don't know.
Yeah, but who's counting, right?
Yeah, well, when you get really busy, the weeks just fly by, and I was just want to. Yeah, I've got so swamped with so many things. I'm having to get some help here, and I think I'm trying to get Angel to come here from LA to maybe help me out with some things. So we're working on that. But anyway, let's talk later on, and just want to say hi to everybody. And if there's anybody ever listening to the show that actually became a flat earther that was around Saigon during the Phoenix Study Group in 1975 that knows me or whatever, it'd be fun to contact me through you, because I've lost touch with all the old friends from way back, and maybe if I ever get on Facebook, maybe find me. But I thought it'd be fun to touch base with anybody's out there that remembers me from way back then.
Cool. Sounds awesome.
Anyway, I'll get back to your show, and I'll talk to you later.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right. Let's jump over to... Wait, do I really have to read that? No, okay. We'll give it a shot. Tonight's show brought to you by FlatEarthModels.com, bringing the truth to your living room. Except that it's not really, but I'm on Truth Frequency Radio. So actually, this show is brought to you by whoever talks during the breaks, which you guys never hear. All right, let's move on to 651 area code. Oops, did I click on him? 651, are you there?
Hello, Mark Wesley States, Flat Earth News Talk, coming to you. Wait for it. Oh, crap, I forgot to say, go ahead. Go ahead.
Why do you insist on calling into the show when you bring me the worst stuff most of the time? Out of all the people that call in, you have probably the worst content. It matches your audio and video skills. What do you got? God. What do you got? What do you got tonight? Hey, look, they call it the Blair West Project for a reason.
Yes, this is true. I actually did one for you, specifically for you. I don't know if you've seen it. It's already posted.
Oh.
I did a special Blair Witch episode for Mark Sargent.
Hey,
so you have to check it out.
Before I forget, Chris Pontius, if you're listening to the show, will you send me an email with your best contact info? I think most of your stuff's at flatearthmodels.com. But will you email me, please? Because DITRH wants to get a hold of you regarding a clock. So
Did you hear that, Chris?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Wes.
No,
that's how much I think of your calls. By the way, is like I'll do public service announcements in the middle of them.
Oh, you're such a liar. No, I was thinking. I was sitting there trying to think of something epic to do today, and I was going to call in sounding like David Weiss, see if I could have fooled you on that, and then I thought, well, maybe I'll try Zulu, and all I can do with Zulu is that's all I can do with him. But the only other thing I could do for Zulu. So I have to give you that.
Playing that, start spreading the news. Yeah.
Yes, he wants to play it. He wants to sing it tonight. He knows he does. He said he was going to sing it tonight. So you got to have some music behind him. Anyhow, no, I was out flat smacking with Josh Swift on Sunday. We went out to Lake Calhoun and we had a blast. Good. Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Awesome. I have a quote.
Nothing new on that. Just FYI, I guess. Yeah. But I got to come up with
a lot of activism recently. A lot of flat smacking, a lot of flat slapping, a lot of people hitting that flat. I have a quote for you, by the way, real quick, which is, I am not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep. I am afraid of an army of sheep led by a lion. And that was from Alexander the Great. It's good.
Sheep just scare me, so it wouldn't matter.
Well, those things bite fingers. You got to be careful. Those are knuckle grabbers right there.
Yes.
So
they're just too low to the ground,
Yeah.
Anyhow, I'll let you go. I just wanted to say hi. Keep up the good work.
Hi,
and I'll
Wes.
come up with something better.
It's okay.
Something to make you laugh.
Whatever. We'll see. No,
Yeah,
the song was
your
good. The song was good. Thank you.
You do know all your emails. All the emails I send you keep coming back to me. I don't get that. What's up with that?
You don't send me any emails.
No, I do. It comes back unknown.
Yeah,
I
imagine
don't get
that. Yeah, whatever. And Peanut Gallery also says, "Put your shirt on." Whatever. Okay.
Yeah, him in the shirt. Just don't get it.
All right,
All right, man. Later.
All right, I'll see you.
Bye.
All right, who we jumping over to? We might as well jump to this guy before the break. After that, we will go to 714, I swear, although I don't know if we're going to get to it before the break. And then after the break, we'll try to pick up 216-818-479-864-815. There's quite a few. Very busy tonight. So let's go to 845 area code. And I think I know who this is.
Hello, Mark. Oh my God! Don't you have a restraining order against that guy? What the hell?
I know, right? It's one of those state things that, as long as he's not threatening me over state lines, he can do pretty much anything he wants. And it comes in. I don't actually see his name when it comes in. There's no caller ID, so I have to just take a chance. I was like, please let it not be Wes, and it is. So whatever.
Hysterical.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Mark from New York. I'm devastated.
No, it can't be. Hey, I got to get the quote out of the way first for you. Good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around the laws. Who said that? Plato.
Absolutely. That is no truer words have been spoken, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I always say a locked door or a cabinet doesn't protect you from criminals. It protects you from honest people. Terrible.
Like when honest people need a drink. Yeah, very much.
Yeah.
Why is this cabinet locked, man?
Yeah, exactly. How come I can't get to the liquor? Why is this baby Bruce? This isn't cool.
What's happening here?
Too funny.
So what's up?
And speaking of funny, this NASA thing has just got me rolling. I cannot believe that they even let this come out. What are they doing?
You mean the hole? Yeah, I honestly, I think they're reacting to us. I honestly think that we are now almost in real-time responsive mode with the powers that be. I think remember how I said that in most cases you'd be lucky if a conspiracy gets the chess pieces moving at all on the other side of the board, and in this case they've been moving the pieces just frantically all over, and it's flattering. It really is, and I'm somewhat speechless now, because this one was just horrible. It was so blatant. It's like, okay, there's a hole, and then it was tweeted by Hatfield, the wrong hole, and then the Russians say it was a deliberate hole, and now the CNN article says that the hole was put there before it went up. It's like, what? So but it helps us. It does nothing but help us. Anytime there's an NASA story at this point, it helps us.
Yeah, it's utterly ridiculous. I mean, the violent nature of going from that pressurized interior to, what is it, 11 tour? What did your guy say?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
it's ridiculous, and we can't even
something like that. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
We can't even get that on Earth.
It's a pure vacuum.
Can't simulate that.
It's a pure vacuum. There's nothing. I mean, we're not talking about high pressure and low pressure. We're talking about high pressure and no pressure. There's a huge, huge, huge difference. 30,000 feet, you get sucked out of the window and you die. 400 miles up, the whole place should. Well, first off, the whole place should just explode. from the pressure. The spacesuits should not work. Nothing should work and it should be the tension on the side of that fuselage should be incredible, to where even the slightest crack should just blow that thing wide open. And they're saying, "Oh no, there's a hole where it was actually venting." It's like, what? Did you not know?
He put his finger over it is the funniest thing in the world, because I can totally picture, like in a cartoon, this human being sucked through this pinhole, just right out the window, right out the hole into space.
Yeah, I remember the human body is just a soft bag of fluid. That's all it is. If it wasn't for our boat.
Guys on the internet.
Yeah.
Did you see the one he put his hand in the vacuum? I mean, and it was like he could only take it for like a split second.
Yeah.
And it just started. He's like, "Oh, it feels like it's pulling my arm apart." Yeah, no shit. That's what it's doing.
Oh no, a vacuum in the body is a bad combination. I mean, awful. It would be a terrible way to die. Awful way to die. It'd be gross. Absolutely. I mean, we've seen this in different movies. The closest I think I ever saw was the movie Outland with Sean Connery in the early 80s.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, that mining colony. It wasn't reviewed very well, but I really enjoyed it. Of course, I was really young when I saw it, but it was a fun little space thing. But yeah, that's how you died. That's how you killed people. You put them in a frickin' vacuum chamber. That's how you killed him, because just destroyed all evidence of how the crime happened. So, anyway.
Hey, I got a quote for you before we got to go. Before I'm too long.
You got about 80 seconds. What do you got?
All right. It's when you live in a vacuum that life really sucks.
Funny.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just utterly ridiculous. I can't believe that they would even put that out.
But again,
horrible.
I've said it many times. Running those stories is just another version of shooting wooden arrows into a bonfire. It looks like you're actually doing something. It looks like you're helping your cause. All you're doing is making the fire bigger. So
honestly, when you spray water onto a barn, those big, huge support beams, it burns so hot that when you spray water onto it, you're just providing oxygen. It doesn't help because it turns to steam. You can't put it out.
Right.
It's a waste of resource. Now what we do is, unfortunately, you let it go to the ground because it's a waste of resources, manpower. You're pulling people from all over the county. Yeah, they don't even do it anymore.
I know that. Okay, you got 15 seconds.
Make sure the nearby structure
15 seconds.
All right. Love everybody. Shout out to Karen Candy, to Mark Sargent, because he's the man. Peanut Gallery, love you guys. With Daniel, alrighty.
Right on. Wow, you actually did it quick. All right. Hey, we'll talk soon, okay?
All right, bye.
Bye.
It seems to me so strange. Check wallet for his name. His face is in the muck. I think his zipper's stuck.
You are now tuned into the truth frequency.
Your protection from deception. TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 4 of 4. And yes, that was Joe Jackson stepping out from his album, Night and Day. We're doing calls, and I've got enough calls on the board right now to do several more segments, but we're going to start at the top. Let's go to 704 area code, I believe. 704, you're on with Strange World. Sorry you had to wait so long.
Hey, is this 704?
It is. This is you. Yeah.
This is Ted. This is Ted Smith. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Ted Smith. What's going on?
Hey, I got something that I use. Well, I've been thinking about this, and correct me if I'm completely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But in the Bible, it talks about the devil being in a bottomless pit.
Right.
How do you do a bottomless pit on a globe?
No, there's only one way you could do
You
it.
can't.
Yeah.
Because if you're in Canada and you're in a bottomless pit, well, you're going to come through in China.
That's true.
And if you're in China and you're a bottomless pit, you're going to go through China. I mean, Canada, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of. So I've been pondering that over the last week or so, and I was calling to ask the master.
Oh, if you don't even have to make it, that hard. The whole key to the bottomless pit thing. There's more obvious ones. The story of Joshua. How I'm not going to quote chapter and verse here. That's more for other guys. But the story of Joshua, where he asked God to hold the sun and the moon in the sky for an extra day so he could kill more enemies, and he did. And that's way easier on a flat model than is a globe, because if it's a globe and you have to stop the sun and the moon in the sky, that means you have to stop basically the entire solar system, which is just monumental. It's a Herculean effort. But the story that I still love more than any of them is the Tower of Babel, which I even built into a clue. Which is, okay, the Tower of Babel on a globe makes no sense at all, because if it's a tower reaching towards the heavens on a globe that's just a pencil stuck into a globe that's spinning around going nowhere, and then that globe is also going around the sun, where is this thing going? It's meaningless, the Tower of Babel. But if it's on a flat, stationary, enclosed system, then we know exactly where the tower is going. The tower is going to the ceiling. And that was the whole point. That's the point of the story from Genesis, which is the civilization knew where they were. They thought they were as powerful as the gods, and so they wanted to build a bridge to heaven. And that's what they were fully intending to do. So why do biblical scholars, how do they even touch the Tower of Babel? They can't. So the bottomless pit, Joshua, Tower of Babel, I don't know, the earth is fixed, immovable, and of course, one of my favorite verses of all time, the verse that's on von Braun's headstone, Psalms 19:1, which says, and the firmament shows his handiwork. Why would the father of NASA be talking about a dome covering the world? Why would the father of NASA be quoting a Bible verse at all? The man is pure 100% science. But anyway, that's a whole other rant for another time. Anyway, there you go. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, if you're thinking about the Tower of Babel,
mm-hmm.
if you put yourself back and you think you look back, you're like, God's looking at on the globe, God's sitting back looking, and we can say the gods, but I don't believe in gods. But if God's looking back, or there they go by, there goes. Can you imagine they say the Earth's spinning so fast,
right? And
you're on something spinning that fast, and you put a little stick on the side of that ball, and it's spinning around. Whoop! There he goes. Whoop! There he goes.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? He wouldn't even waste his time of destroying it.
Agreed.
Because it's like, whoop.
Yeah. Why?
It's kind of funny.
Your point there is well made, which is, why would God even bother destroying the temple or the tower? Why would he even bother?
Right.
He wouldn't. He would not bother. The only reason that tower would be destroyed is because it represented an actual, not necessarily a threat, but a very real annoyance.
Oh.
And that takes some doing to annoy God to that degree.
Right. The fact that they tried to build something up to the firmament or the dome.
Right.
It makes sense, but for them to build something, to stick something out on a ball that's spinning around, it's like, really?
Yeah. Seriously, find me
a
biblical scholar that can touch that. The only thing they can ever use is Isaiah 40:22, and I hate to tell you this, Kent Hovind. That verse does not have veto power, especially over an entire story in Genesis. Does not have it. As they like to say in Congress, doesn't have the votes. Anyway, anything else?
Right.
I hate to cut you short.
That's it.
But
You got to move on. You got a lot of calls. I'm
I got
glad
stuff.
you're having a great show tonight.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
All
Hey,
right, man.
we love you. Talk to you
All right.
soon.
All right. See you, man.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Let's go to, oh boy, now I'm getting a little confused. Did I pick up this guy already? Let's find out. 910, did I already pick you up tonight?
All right. No, I won't. I wanted to talk about the microwave radiation that happened to the brains of the politicians. Did you hear about that?
Right. That little story. You're right. That story had been kind of hidden. I know it was buried under a lot of the other stuff that's going on. What was your take on it?
I was just thinking about the 5G and all these little towers going up everywhere.
Right.
But I wanted to jump from that to rainbows. And has anyone measured the curve of a rainbow? And on track with this last caller, and I guess a lot of your callers tonight, speaking biblically.
Yeah.
The rainbow was a covenant made with earth and man, as I recall. And if that's correct, I don't think he would do it, just to put something pretty up there for you to look at. When you look at that rainbow, the reason he's given that to you is to show if there were any openings, that would be the windows open. But those colors being solid all the way around that dome, that's showing you the windows are closed.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But again, has anyone measured the curve of the rainbow?
The actual degree arc, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, it's pretty shallow. I know that. It's not a.
What if we do?
Go ahead.
What if we do this? What if we take and let's say we blow it up where each side is coming down at, let's say, 12,000 miles.
Okay.
Could we get the curvature on that?
Maybe.
I'm sure we could.
I'm sure we could. I mean, the rainbow is a fascinating. If you guys don't know what we're talking about here, which is something that came up early on in the flat Earth community. I think it was Jesse Spots, the guy that first noticed it, which is you can create rainbows inside. We have the technology to do it now, but you need water vapor and you need a reflective source, not just a light source, but you need a reflective backing behind it, and then we can generate a rainbow indoors. Now the question is, outdoors, where is this reflective object? Where is this barrier? Because remember, outside there should not be a dome. But yet, whenever we have water vapor and light coming in at a certain angle, we see a rainbow. So where is it?
I tell you, we could also measure the height of that arc.
Yeah.
If we blow that up and put each end going down at 12,000 miles, I mean,
maybe
we could get the height of that arc.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's an interesting experiment. If anyone's out there and can think of a cool way to do it, the problem with it is, like a lot of things, not as bad as like lightning, but you got to be able to find a rainbow. Although there's some good enough pictures of rainbows out there that you might be able to extrapolate something.
You can make them.
You can make them.
You can make them if the sun's shining.
Yeah.
You can make them. Yeah.
Good point. And of
All
course,
right.
the other thing before you go, don't forget also, if you've never looked at a rainbow from above, remember, a rainbow is curved from the ground, but above it's an actual circle. It's an actual domed structure, which is very, very interesting. You look at a rainbow from a helicopter on YouTube or a plane, and it's fascinating. Helicopters are the best, where it looks like a giant sports stadium. So anyway. All right, man. Any shout outs? Anything else?
No one ever gives me a shout out. So.
Oh, okay. All right, man.
Out.
No worries. Hey, you're on. I think you did a great job. Thank you for calling.
All right, man. Thanks.
All right. See ya. I feel bad. All right. Let's go to 216 area code. 216. Have I picked you up yet?
Nope. How you doing, Mark?
I am doing well, and I'm sorry you had to wait for as long as you did.
Oh, it's okay. Hey, but I know you don't want to talk about this ISS stuff.
but
no,
our,
I absolutely will talk about the ISS stuff. You just let me know.
I mean, this is so ridiculous. I mean, the thing that I think they're doing with this is that I think we've come out on videos and recently, some of these conferences we had, and we're saying how we're sick of being, like Rob Skiba, he was saying how, well, we're sick of being on the defensive, we need to be on the offensive, right? And I think these guys are giving us the opportunity and saying, hey, what are you going to do? You know, this is so ridiculous.
Right. But they're they're also softballing. That's the part that bugs me. You know, this one was so easy. I mean, the Chris Hadfield picture.
Right.
God's sakes, it's been around for decades. So that's the picture you're going to throw out there?
I remember, I think it was Sunday night they come out on national, I was listening to some national show and it's saying how this happened, you know. It's like, I'm thinking, well, the first thing that happens is the whole place just crushes, right?
Right.
I mean, wouldn't that be what would happen?
Yeah. I mean,
there's no air duct doors nowhere.
No,
the whole place would just crunch up.
Well, it would burst. It's the opposite. Remember, it's the opposite of a
okay.
Remember, it's the opposite from a submarine at crush depth. Submarines have the outer pressure, the water pressure that wants to get in, which is why when you even have a tiny hole,
this would really blow, though, right?
The what?
I mean, you would see this from the Earth. It would blow up so good.
Oh, it would blow up. It would be a spectacular explosion if it was real. And God, remember, which is why I use the airplane version. The woman gets a hole. There's a reason why they don't have roll down windows in airplanes when you get up that high, and that's only, you can use just a regular, when you're flying in a Cessna, you can open up the windows. That's fine. People do it.
Right.
But you're
not moving hardly.
Well, yeah, they're hardly moving, but that's not also it. It's also the air pressure. You get up at 30,000 feet, there's quite a bit of pressure difference. There's a big difference. I'm going to say it again. There's a big difference between high pressure and low pressure, and then high pressure and then no pressure. And that's what we're talking about.
No pressure.
Yeah, if there was a pure vacuum,
like night and day.
Yeah, on the outside of that space station, the stress of that fuselage would be immense, to where even a moderate crack would just send the atmosphere would bleed out of that thing instantly. You guys don't get the power of a vacuum.
Right.
It moves. It's not like there's this leak.
You see,
go ahead.
You've seen the video of the tanker truck on the.
Yeah. I still use it in my show. The tanker.
That's an instant.
Yeah, it's instant, and that is not even a full
down here.
Yeah, no, that's down here with not even a full-blown vacuum power, not even close. And so it would be tremendous. And we're not talking, and that's a steel tanker car compared to aluminum and plastic.
Aluminum
and plastic, no different than a jet airliner. And
even if that was perfectly intact, like they say it is, the station did, it still couldn't even resist the pressure from outside.
No. Well, and look, I could go on and on. Not just the space station. Don't forget that's not even the crux. The real problem is the spacesuit, which is there's very few things that I am 100% sure on in life, but there is one thing that I absolutely am, and unfortunately, it's a negative thing, which is the spacesuits cannot work in a vacuum, because that has no rigid structure at all. That is just a thick balloon. That's all it is. And so how does a thick balloon, which would turn into a basketball or a car tire, in a vacuum, how do you move your arms and legs and fingers and anything? How do you do anything in a spacesuit? It absolutely cannot work. The stress would turn it into a snare drum. So, just drives me insane.
So I'm saying, what do you think should happen? I mean, shouldn't we go to court with these guys? I mean, this is so obvious.
Eventually, yes,
something.
But it wouldn't be a civil lawsuit. It would be eventually it all comes down to money. For example, the reason why cigarettes even were, the lawsuit went out against cigarettes wasn't because people sued them. It was because the health insurance company sued them, because they were the ones that were just getting hit. They were paying for people with lung cancer, and health insurance was losing their shirts on it. And they were the ones. So it was big money versus big money. Something like this, eventually what would happen is you would get some of the subcontractors like General Dynamics or McDonnell Douglas or Boeing or those guys. They would come at NASA and say, so what exactly are we, what's happening here? What sort of money and what's this, all the exchange that we're having apparently is fraudulent. So there'd be massive breach of contract, basically, and they would. That's what would eventually happen. You can do all your class action lawsuits you want with the people in the United States. It's not going to get nearly as much traction as a massive corporation. It'd be corporations have to go after NASA, and then it comes out of the question: is NASA too big to fail? Which is why you can't let that happen. If it was me, you'd never let the whole NASA thing go to court. Because it's too big. It's
of course, they'll throw money at it.
Yeah, so you try to distract them with something else, be it a war or a staged celestial event, something like that. That's what I would do if I was them, because you just cannot let it. You can't let NASA go to court. It would be the most embarrassing thing. You might as well just snap the American flagpole in half. I mean, that has been our flagship literally for a while now, for decades, and
I'm just saying something has to be done.
I know. Hey, we're getting there. Right now, we're making sure everybody knows, and then once we hit again the 100th monkey effect, something will happen. Trust me on this. I can already see it.
All right. Well, one quick thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you seen this video? This guy had a P900 with infrared on it. And
yeah. It's real.
500 miles away.
Yeah. The one he took from the airplane. Yep. Yeah. Apparently the infrared filter is legit. I was skeptical at first, and it looks like the infrared filter on the P900s is amazing. Which goes along with what the SR-71 pilot was saying, because when he got up to a certain altitude, he said he could see Los Angeles from Arizona. And you shouldn't be able to see that on a curve. And he said he could see all the way up the Rocky Mountains to the north, all the way to Canada. And you shouldn't be able to see that. It should fall away from you.
It'd be nice to picture of that.
Yeah. Yeah. But
the come and take a picture for us.
Well, I mean, he's been doing lecture circuits, and he's not a flat earther, but he's been telling people, and people accept it. It's like, wow, that's really cool. You were really, really high. You had an amazing altitude. No one even thinks twice. It's like, hey, wait a minute, should you be able to see that far? Even your best nerds missed it. So anyway, if you're out there with a P900, look up some of the infrared videos that are on YouTube. They're actually pretty good. And the one he released from the plane just recently, I can't condemn it.
Oh, one more quick thing, and I'll let you go.
Okay.
I saw a water table of the Great Lakes. I don't know if you've seen this or not. It was from the last Great Lake. I don't know what it is up top there in Minnesota, all the way to the St. Lawrence Seaway. And it was showing all the levels and dams and stuff. And it was saying there's almost 600 miles here, and where's the curve? It's really interesting to take a look at this. I was shocked, but something to look at. I'll let you go.
No. Thank you. And again,
thank you so much.
Hey, you have a good one.
You too, brother. Thank you.
All right. How much time can we pick up these last two? Let's go after 727. And if I have time, I will grab 864. I swear I will try. See what 727's got, though. 727, you are on with Strange World. Could be the last call, maybe the second to last call. I don't know. What's up?
Maybe. Hi. I am not Mark Sargent. I am Jose Gonzalez.
Hey, Jose Gonzalez.
Right. I'm not related to Nathan Gonzalez or Jose Igor Gonzalez. And even though my English is not very good looking, not related to Speedy Gonzalez either. So, ándale, arriba.
Wow. That is impressive. What's
it's good. So, I just pulled it off my sleeve.
No, that's really, really cool. So what's on your mind this evening?
All right. So I've been doing some small observations. I live in the Tampa Bay area in Florida.
Okay.
I have been in the last maybe month or so a little bit more active, more vocal and outspoken. So I've been joining the Nathan Show, the debate channel. And I have a trip planned for this upcoming 9/11. What a coincidence. On next Tuesday, I will be heading to Tampa from Florida. I'm going to make a stop in the Lake Pontchartrain, and I'm going to take some videos of the Lake Pontchartrain. So I will try to replicate the famous Townley videos.
Oh, right. Yeah,
I'm looking forward for
please
that.
do.
I'm very excited.
Right on. Yeah, that's a
I
great
am
idea.
very excited. I don't have a P900. It's a little less of a zoom camera, but it still make great observations.
It'll come down to the atmospheric conditions anyway. So best of luck to you on that. I hope you do well.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah, I know there's a small tropical storm or hurricane heading over there right now, but it will be out of the way by Tuesday when I get there. So I'm looking forward to. I'm gonna make a little live stream on my channel on Tuesday, and I will then upload the videos I catch with the zoom camera, and I will present them on probably the Nathan Show, and I'm gonna bring it to there's a Discord app with a bunch of globe believers, the big names that are out there, and I am part of that show. I jump in there, and I used to get beat up because I used to make a lot of claims without backing them up. So I learned how to conversate with them and just learn about the optics and the science and all that stuff. So I will present the evidence in both sides of the coin and see them dissect it and interpret it and see what comes out of my observations. I just like taking videos, putting them up there, dissecting. Anybody's welcome to take my videos and use them however you want.
Right on. Well,
So,
thank you. Thank you very much for
that's
that.
me.
Appreciate your dedication
Not a problem,
and
yeah.
appreciate everything you're bringing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I just want to put it out there. So if somebody's interested, look me up. Jose J.G. Gonzalez on YouTube, and you'll find me over there. Keep Flat Earth next to the name, and I pop up probably in the first search.
Right on. Right on.
All right. I'm all
Excellent,
done here. Thank you very much. Shout out to everybody on the Zulu chat over there. We're all cool, you know. Leave the drama outside, guys. Come on. Let's focus more on the observations and the evidence. Leave the drama out of the door. Throw it under the rug and keep moving and find the truth. It's out there.
All right. All right.
Thank you.
All right. I'll see you, Ben. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Do we have time for one more? It's going to be a short one. It's also going to be 864. 864, did I pick you up yet? Because if not, you're the last one.
I got 5 minutes, right?
You got 2.
Just Jack.
Oh, hey, it's just Jack.
What's going
sorry,
on?
man. You don't come in as your name. You come in as wireless caller. So sorry about that.
Okay, well, I'm on my wife's phone anyway because mine's dead. But anyways, I just wanted to let you all know that I'm staying active and everybody else needs to stay active so that we can get the word out. I flash smacked 2 people tonight. They're now flat earthers. And just basically, show my slideshow, go through the spiel, and by the end of it, they're questioning the ball.
Wow. Awesome. Do you know, I think actually you become such a regular fixture now that the Peanut Gallery has a quote for you. You ready?
All right.
No human being will ever know the truth, for even if they happen to say it by chance, they would not even know they had done so. And that's from some other Greek guy. I'm not going to read these Greek names. I'm just not going to do it. Even though this one sounds.
Well, I'm gonna do a couple quick shout outs for Dread and Globebusters and Celebrate Truth and everybody in the Zulu chat.
Right on. Awesome. Anything
All
else?
right.
You still got 30-something seconds.
Well, I'm trying to make it quick, but yeah, you know how I am if I get going.
Yeah,
too long,
you know
so
what?
I'll
Probably
I'll just say
better
hi.
off. Yeah, quitting when the going's good. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going. By the way, 100%
Going.
flying to the conference.
Oh, are you out? That's outstanding. Can't wait to meet you, man. That'll be so cool.
I was at 95%, and I talked to my wife, and she says, we can't afford for you to drive, but I'll fly you out there. And I was like, sweet.
Oh, that's
so I'll be there.
Cool. Yeah, it's going to be great. Denver to remember. No question.
No about it, doubt it.
All right, man. All right, I got to go because I do my
Have
sign.
a good one, Mark.
All right, talk to you soon.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye.
All right, with that, thanks for everybody that called. Everybody's going to call in the future, and I'll be here next week, which is 9/11. Go figure. Same flat time, same flat channel. So, see you guys then.
It's a great honor and privilege for us to be here representing not only the United States. Get that photo out of here! Come on, country chick!